most as I travel around the country and do trainings for the Building Bridges Initiative is folks would like to hire family partners. They've heard about the importance and and how they can really affect outcomes for families. But what I hear most is that there is no funding. What would your advice be to those that are having trouble finding funding for the position?
I think working closely with your state and county agencies, MCOs, even working with other community organizations to take a risk and be bold and sort of, pilot small. Don't feel like you have to take on all things at one time for your agency. Begin to pilot small and track those outcomes and track the return on your investment, because it's really worth it. So when families have access to support partners, they're more engaged in treatment, in building solutions, in helping their child and youth participate. And children's outcomes in terms of safe living arrangement, reduced engagement with law enforcement, improved attendance and achievement at school, and other positive outcomes are a direct result of having the type of support that they need. And parent support is key to those outcomes. Financial sustainability of youth and parent peer support is all too often a misconsideration until it's a little late. So a strong focus on this in the planning stage will help ensure its success. I think having conversations with, particularly, there are some new pieces of legislation available to stay on tune and on track with other opportunities that are coming forward, working with other partner agencies. I love it when residential is really considered a key component of the community. And so, to have a group of providers talk together about how can they pilot something within one agency or two agencies. Can they combine their resources, whether it's the funding of a position or two, or whether it's the training of those staff or support of those staff, how you work together as a community to grow this opportunity. Leveraging Medicaid is one strategy, and that depends on what's going on in your state around whether this service is reimbursable or not. So if you're able to bill Medicaid, or if you have contracted with a family-run organization that's able to bill Medicaid for peer support, there are family-run organizations who can do that. So reaching out, I think, to your natural community partners is really important. And to really look at the incorporation of these services as part of the cost of doing business, either as a direct service cost or part of your infrastructure, like administrative costs, and spreading the cost across multiple funding sources is one way of including the cost of providing peer support throughout your organization. And if every contract or grant would include parent peer support as part of an infrastructure or administrative item, similar to the way that you write your IT needs across the board as simply part of doing business, that might help you think about another way to handle that scarce resource that you're talking about. Otherwise than that, treating it as a direct service cost and making the case to all funders that peer support is intrinsic to all other direct services. I know of places that have peer support as part of their care management or care coordination strategies, and really begin to think more broadly about peer support is key.
One of the things you mentioned when we talked was, and I loved this, was the return on investment. Mm-hmm. And like you said, consider it like you would an IT or anything else. And right. It is, or at least in my view, and it sounds like in your view, that it's the best thing a provider can do to support families.
Joanne, I agree with you. Well, I think all that we've talked about, everything we've talked about leads to better outcomes. And parent partners can have conversations with families in ways that no one else can. And that creates opportunities for success for children, for the youth, for their families, and for the programs that serve them. So it is a really big return on investment. I would say that making the move to hire parent partners can be complex. It may be the hardest work you'll do, but it will definitely be the best work you ever do for your program and for the families that you serve.